Welcome to Geocache Adventures, the podcast where we explore everything geocaching. I'm your host, Shadow Dragon 1. I love geocaching. If you're listening to this, you probably love it too. If you enjoy the podcast, consider sharing it with somebody that you think would love it. You can also follow the podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and there's a Facebook group as well, so you can join in the fun and share your adventures. There's also a Patreon page that you can join and unlock exclusive content. Hey everybody, AB Shadow Dragon 1 here, and with me is returning guest Lee Katz, aka Varofharken. Thank you for joining me today.
Well, thanks for having me again. This is always fun.
It is. So we're going to talk about geocaching when you can't stand bugs. And I don't mean trackable bugs or travel bugs. I mean like the little insects. And I was surprised that you hate bugs.
I absolutely hate them. I absolutely hate them. I will drive out of my way to take a cache that's in more of a winter scene than go for this one that I know is just crawling with bugs. I hate bugs.
Is it all bugs in general or specific creepy crawlies?
Okay, well, let me answer this with this. Tick. Now watch how many people are going,
Yeah.
they're feeling around. Oh my God. They
Yeah.
mentioned ticks, so they're losing their mind.
Yeah, they're not fun, but I can deal
But
with them if I have to. But
and like the other day, I got a log on one of my caches, and it's a very well hidden one, but somebody found it, and they're like, "Yes, red ants are infesting it." Yada yada yada. I'm like, oh, kind of like Indiana Jones. Why did it have to be ants? So on my way home one day, I brought the bug spray with me. I stopped at the location. I gave a gander to it using my cell phone because I can't really see it without a mirror or something like that.
Okay.
So I'm using my cell phone selfie camera to see. Yeah, there's no ants, but okay. He mentioned it. I'll give it a quick spray just in case they're out ant hunting or whatever the hell ants do. And I'll give it a spray and then they'll come back and there's basically nowhere for them to go. So I haven't had any other problems since then, but I also haven't had anybody log it. So it may just be overrun still.
Okay.
But I know I didn't see anything when I looked. So, but yeah, just the fact that makes your skin crawl.
So has this been a lifelong hatred, aversion?
No, just when I started geocaching.
Just when you start geocaching. Okay. Oh, well,
Because,
that's a lovely side effect.
It's the thing of, they always tell you don't reach into a hole that you don't know what's in there.
That's what sticks are for.
Well, yeah. And that's more true to anything, but the stick isn't going to see that there might be a spider on the side of the wall or something that,
True.
And stuff like that. So my suggestion in the flyby is use your selfie camera. Get in there and look around before you go throwing your hand in there. Because where I'm going with this is reach in, get the thing, I pull it out, I'm doing my thing, and I put it back. I seem to be just fine, right? I go back to the car, and the next thing I know, I literally have a spider wrapping itself from my shoulder to my neck to my. Ugh, no. I don't even care if it's not poisonous. No.
Okay, so that obviously makes some geocaches difficult for you.
Right. And you have the ticks, the same thing. I mean, you don't know a tick is there until, hell, some people don't even know it when they're crawling on their skin. I happen to be oversensitive. So, yes, I can feel it as soon as it hits my skin. But it's the same idea. When you reach back because you feel something on the back of your neck and you, oh my God. Now you lose your mind trying to figure out, do I squish it in my fingers? Do I throw it on the ground and hope it actually falls off my fingers? Do I wash it with water? what am I going to do with this thing? Because I can't just leave it in my fingers. Oh
True.
my God.
And bug spray only goes so far, to be
Yes, it
fair.
does.
Okay, so what do you do when you can't stand bugs? I mean, you have some options if you do the more like in town and city
Right.
caches that eliminate some of the bug problems, but you still can have things like ants and spiders and stuff. So what do you do there?
Well, as some of the local geocachers around here will attest, I don't geocache during the summer. I just don't. I mean, I really, really, I take an urban geocaching during the summer. I'll go to the fences. I'll go wherever I can see something really good.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the normal out, in the rural areas, the parks, the stuff like that, I will wait until that second or third frost. And I
Oh,
know there ain't nothing
really?
sitting out there. Yep. And I will go out bundled up. You've seen this cartoon with this kid that's bundled up in this like down coat, and his arms are spread out as wide as they can be because he can't bend his arms. His head is completely covered by a hat and scarf. All you can little see is his beady eyeballs sticking out, and he's like, "I'm ready for the winter." I will go out like that before, and I've gone to Jubilee State Park where the park is literally shut down during the winter. They close the gates. You can't take your car past a certain point.
Okay.
And I will literally go to that geocache location, the GZ, and I will dig through 2 feet of snow. But I know there ain't going to be a bug on me when I'm done.
That's true. You may have frostbite, but no bugs.
No, because I'm a walking furnace. I'm gonna come back. Truth be told, I'm gonna come back from that, and I'll be basically slightly over a jean jacket type of a density on my jacket. I will come back from that, get in my car, and I'll be sweating like somebody came out of war because yeah, that's
My
how I am.
husband's that way. And the cold doesn't bother him.
Yeah, my dad always says, you will sweat in a 6 foot snowbank with no clothes on and just somebody saying hot, you know. So, but there is advantages to going out geocaching during the fall, summer, or fall, winter, spring, and that's one of them is once that second or third frost is gone, there's not going to be anything to stand in your way, whether it's bugs, poison ivy, anything like that. Obviously, that tends to skew my numbers a little bit, those that, follow the grids and all that stuff, but I don't care. I don't like bugs.
See, I
and
don't
I
like the
certainly don't like
cold.
and I certainly don't like bringing bugs into the house if I don't even know they're on me,
That's true.
because now I've got a problem with, and this may really be going out there, but if you go into some place that's slightly dirty, because we've got a series of caches around here called dirty birds. They're called that because they're around trash areas for different
Oh,
restaurants and stuff like that. So if you go in there and you find a geocache, you might be picking up something else besides that geocache and bringing it home with you,
yeah.
aka roaches.
Oh God.
And
Okay. See
then
that you said the word.
see,
That is my one thing I cannot deal with. My one irrational fear.
see,
Okay, well,
so
maybe my top irrational fear because
but
like
once you get them in the house,
I can't.
you're
No, I
yeah,
can't do them. I can't do them. I am actually allergic to them, believe it or not, and I'm not joking because I had to have
really.
allergy testing done a while back, several years ago, because I was having a lot of allergy issues, and they did allergy testing, and the only thing I showed positive allergies to was cockroaches. And the
Groovy.
doctor said it's actually a very common allergy, but most people aren't in environments with them to find out that they have allergies to them.
Right. Now, keep in mind, we're probably, as you said, diving off the deep end on
Oh, but
rationality
if you're
here.
in a dumpster area, yeah, they're there. They're there. Ugh.
See, now you're even making the image like, oh, my
Ugh.
skin is just crawling thinking about
You
it.
said the word. You said that word. And I cannot. That is, not that I enjoy ticks, but I can deal with them.
Oh, I could deal with
You
them too,
know,
but I'd rather
but
not.
I don't, yeah, I'd rather not. I can deal with them just fine. And I will to go out into the woods, but those are one things I will not deal with. Like if I ever find one in my house, it's game over. We're moving, burn it
Burn the
down.
place
I'm
down.
done. Like,
So let me ask you this. When you go geocaching, are you one of these fans that, take the duct tape back, yeah, and up, inside out and put it on your legs so that if ticks start coming up your legs, they get stuck on the duct tape, supposedly?
I have never tried that. I've seen
I
that
think
before.
I think it's a wives' tale. I don't think that really works.
I think a lot of the problem is I could see it possibly working, but a lot of the times they're dropping down because they're in the grass, but they're also in trees and in brush.
Exactly. So they might be dropping down above where that tape is laid.
Yeah.
So
I'm
you're
just
kind
a
of
big
SOL
fan
too,
of deep woods off.
right?
Just spray down real good with that and go out and
But now, this does bring up something we want to mention in the podcast here is that we're from the Midwest. You're over in Missouri, I'm over in Illinois.
yeah.
But there are other locations that I have geocached, and like, let's say California, Las Vegas, Nevada, the Southwest area, where they don't necessarily need to worry about ticks. They need to worry about scorpions, and I know it's not a bug, but snakes, rattlesnakes.
Yeah. We have
This is,
scorpions in Missouri.
do you
Yeah,
really?
there's a Missouri scorpion.
Groovy. I'm glad I
Yeah.
haven't I haven't
I've
cached
seen
much
them
in Missouri.
before.
Are
I've
they
seen them
big?
before. No,
Are
they're
they poisonous?
tiny.
Well, supposedly the smaller, the more venomous.
That's what I hear. I've only ever seen one before in the
Where,
wild.
the emperor scorpions that are like, 4 inches or
The
bigger.
size of your face.
Yeah, yeah, those are the ones that aren't poisonous. But it's the little bastages that are they pack quite a punch. They can make you
That's what I've
sick.
heard.
But anyway, my point is know your area of your geocaching. If you're
Yes.
if you're not from around there, talk to somebody that is around there and get some insight on, hey, what should I be looking out for? What should I try to avoid as far as locations? You know, don't go grabbing into a hole that you don't know what's in there.
Yeah, that's a
It
good
could
one
be
in
a den of
general.
it could be a den of scorpions. It could be a den of God knows what. You know, or it could just be a rabid raccoon waiting for you. I know that's kind of tripping a little bit, but
I have come across those before, not in the woods. I usually see them. I actually a year ago or so there was one in the gas station parking lot by my house and
yeah,
you
me and
can
me and a
tell
buddy,
when they're not right.
me and a buddy were caching one night, and we saw a raccoon. I mean, this guy was a small dog. He came up and he just uh he tiptoed as best as I could, tiptoed across the edge of a dumpster that was open. And it's
Yeah.
like, how the hell does he have that balance? But you know what? That's fine. I'm going to leave that trash panda right there.
Yeah, that's why they're called trash pandas.
That's right. But
Yeah,
anyway, but yeah, you need to make sure you know the entomology and whatnot of the area that you're caching in, because you don't know what kind of nasties you might be playing in.
that's true.
You know, Direwolf, I think it was Direwolf. last week or a couple weeks ago, he went through a field of nothing but cicadas. I mean,
Oh yeah.
he said the ground was just alive. It was so prevalent in there. And of course, me being the smart butt that I am, I texted back, the Star Wars guy that says it's a trap, So, but he got to experience that. Now I walk out my door, I haven't got a cicada around me, but he apparently was in the nice area that harbored that kind of stuff. So you got to make sure you know what you're getting into as far as not only what could be there, but how do you deal with what you might find? Does it bite? If it bites, what's the proper, first aid for that?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Do you freak out and run as fast as you can to the local hospital, or do you try to calm down and have somebody take you, or have the hospital come to you in the way of a 911 call?
Yeah. And you don't want to overreact, but you don't want to underreact either.
Exactly, because there's some real nasties that can do some good stuff to you.
There
Not so good
are.
stuff. Yeah.
Well, and
So,
you have, like you said before, there's non-poisonous spiders that you get a bite, and the worst thing you got to worry about is if it gets infected. And then we have, and I believe you have them too, the brown recluse spiders.
oh yes,
That they are
stay away
nasty little
stay away from
buggers.
wood piles.
They are
Those
nasty
that
buggers because they have a corrosive venom.
yes, that suspicious pile of sticks could be harboring one of those.
Yeah,
Now, I don't want to freak any of your listeners out, but I mean that's a real thing here,
it
at
is.
least in the Midwest. You know, if I remember right, it's got a violin on its belly, and if you're close enough to see its belly,
Yeah, I
you
don't
probably already
normally see the belly. If it's a giant brown spider, I assume it's a
yeah.
recluse and kill it.
But now when you've got spiders technically aren't bugs;
No,
they're arachnids.
arachnids.
But you see online, these Australians and Tanzania and all this stuff. They have these spiders literally that are big enough to take down a bird. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like no, 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 no.
Now, to be fair, Australia, everything's trying to kill you there. And
That
you
is a
just
good
know
point.
that before you go.
That is a good point. It did used to be a penal colony for a reason.
Yes.
So, but yeah, it's just I prefer not to cache when there's bugs. It's just one of those things, and everybody around here knows that I'm less active during the summer, and as it gets colder, I get more active. Kind of the reverse of what it should be, but there it is.
Oh, I can't stand the cold. My fingers will get so cold that they just hurt and they get stiff and they hurt and you just can't do anything. Doesn't
Well,
matter how many layers of gloves I have on. And believe me, I have put multiple layers on and ski gloves and everything else, and they just get cold and hurt, and it is not
yeah, but you're
fun.
cold blooded. You're
I
you're
am. My
you're
fingers
just
are
like my
actually a
wife.
bit chilly right now.
Yeah, you're just like my wife. She could be sitting in an 84-degree house and say, "It's so cold. Aren't you cold?" I'm
Yeah.
like, "No, I'm sweating to death, as a matter of fact."
Yeah. I rather bug spray up and go sweat my butt off
Until
and
that bug spray gets in your eye through sweat.
well, okay, so the way I was taught to put it on as a kid, because this is what we always did in the woods,
Here's your
is you
PSA, everybody.
here's your PSA. This is whether it's the correct way or not, I don't know, but this is the way I always do it. So you take it and you spray around the cuffs of the legs,
Okay.
the up and down the outseam and inseam of your pants, around your
Okay.
waist, and then around your sleeves, arms, and
Okay.
basically you're spraying all the entry points, or at least most of the
Right.
entry points, and I don't actually spray my face.
Okay. Now, see, I've heard that you can spray into your hand and then put it on your various parts of your face, just staying away from the eyes and the mouth and
Yeah.
under the nose, obviously.
Yeah.
But just the same, I mean, and another thing we're famous for, especially in the Midwest, mosquitoes.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, I'm not going to go into a den of mosquitoes to get that geocache. because I actually had a geocache here called Mosquitoes versus Spiders. I kid you not. And those that are local here will tell you that it was quite a trek to get to that because you had to go down into this valley. And my daughter helped me make this one. This was technically her first assist on a geocache.
Okay.
And we get down to where we want to hide it, and we had to go through just tons of webs along the ground and spiders here and spiders there. And once we passed the spiders phase, we got into mosquito area because there's water around. So it's like I talked to Chris and I said, what should we call this? Should we call it down in the valley or a hike or what? She goes, no, Dad, call it for what it is, mosquitoes versus spiders. And I'm like, that kind of rings. Let's do that.
That's pretty good.
So, but I mean, if you wanted to go down there and see various forms of spiders, various species of spiders, that's the place to do it because you had everything from daddy longlegs to wolf spiders to jumping spiders. No thanks. Thank, Thankfully, after a 4-year run, darn, I had to archive it because the cache got taken away in a flood.
Oh, darn. Oh,
But yeah, the
gosh.
mosquitoes are just as bad around here. If if
Yeah,
you
the
if you don't know what
mosquitoes can
you're
get pretty
walking
bad.
into, it could really be a mess. So
Yeah, the
again,
mosquitoes get pretty nasty.
yeah, I mean they are the Minnesota state bird, aren't they?
That's what I hear.
That's what I hear.
Maybe somebody from Minnesota can tell us if that's true or not.
Uh, yep.
Or we could Google it, but where's the fun in that?
I don't know, but I know a guy that actually used to work on the mosquito squad for Minnesota, for the state of
Oh,
Minnesota.
really?
So if you have a squad, that's probably saying something right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we definitely have the trucks that'll go around and spray in our
Oh no,
county, so.
he was into helicopters spraying and
Oh,
everything.
wow.
Yeah, they really take a hard stance on mosquitoes up there. Or at least they did. I don't know if they still do. This is 15 years ago that
Hmm.
I'm talking, so a lot can change.
Yeah.
But yeah, I call me a pansy, whatever you want, but I am not going out. I'll wait until that frost just
Okay.
to avoid it.
Worst bug to deal with.
Oh Jesus. Um, you know, it's that spider web you can't see. It's the spider web you can't see, but the spider mysteriously is just floating in the midair.
Yeah.
How convenient is that? But you don't know that until it's too late.
Till you walk into it.
Yeah, and then you become a kung fu master because you're like,
I think the worst to deal with is chiggers
yes.
because you
Well,
can't see them.
yeah, but you're only going to get those if you lay on the ground.
No, you don't. You walk through
Well,
tall grass, you get them.
if you walk through tall grass with sandals slash flip flops
I
on
wear boots and I
in
have gotten
shorts,
chiggers.
but you wear capris, don't you?
Boots and blue jeans and still have gotten
Okay,
chiggers.
really?
Yes.
Chigger now are chiggers the same as sand fleas?
I don't know.
Okay, because I know they're very similar in their symptoms, I guess you could call it, their MO, whatever.
I think the chiggers will I don't, and I could be completely wrong, but I am convinced that chiggers will climb up your pants because I will get them on the backs of my knees wearing blue
Ew,
jeans and boots.
really? Uh,
Not always, but I have had it happen before. And it's like I I always wear, unless I'm running around barefoot, I could get I get that, but I'm not running around barefoot in the woods. I have a
right?
little more common sense than that.
A little bit,
Little
a
bit.
little bit more. Yeah.
Little. Little more than that.
I don't think I have ever been chiggered while geocaching. I don't know if I've just been lucky that way or how that works, but I've never been chiggered.
I don't know, you rub up against the wrong thing or something.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't rub up against anything when
Well,
I'm.
sometimes you do it without realizing you've brushed up against stuff.
I mean, a
Some
few
of us
years
are not very coordinatedly, and it
I've
happens,
I've
okay?
been with you, I know. But I know that when a few years ago, me and Direwolf and Street Rider, we went through and did a 5-5, an actual 5-5, not a liar's cache,
Okay.
but a real 5-5. It took us 4 weekends to do this
Oh, geez.
because it was so enduring and just spread out. We went through the whole Fond du Lac Reservoir area, Farmdale Reservoir, rather.
Okay.
And it took us literally over hill and over dale and under this. And I actually got to wade through 3 feet of water to get to it. And over that whole thing, and it was in the middle of summertime, over that whole thing, I don't seem to remember ever having an issue with bugs. And
Really?
I don't know if that's Farmdale taking care of the bugs for us or what, but I honestly don't remember ever having a run in with, any latent bugs or bugs while we were there. I
Hmm.
loved it. It was definitely a it was a care off of my mind because I still came home and did the normal, hey, I'm going to go take a shower because I just feel grubby,
Yeah.
but I didn't have to do it because I felt like I was being crawled on. I just did it because I felt grubby. But maybe Direwolf can chime in on this when he hears this because I know he's a subscriber, but I don't remember ever having to deal with any bugs while we were out there for the 4 weekends. And we went through some rather interesting terrain, let's say.
Was it a multi-cache?
uh, it, no, I don't think it
Why
was
did it take 4 weekends?
because it wasn't necessarily a multi-cache, but it had phases to it.
Huh.
Let me see if it was a multi-cache. I don't. I honestly don't remember. That's so sad. Seriously. Thankfully, I live real close to it now, so I don't have to go very far to find it. And I'm not seeing it. Oh, I am not seeing it. I wonder if somebody took it out. There it is. It's called the Journal, GC484C, as in Charlie, and it is considered a mystery cache.
Okay.
So that's how we kept doing it because
So, like, is it a field puzzle kind of mystery cache?
all over the place. It was literally all over the place. I mean, the journal, yeah, it's you had to do some deciphering, you had to do some logic puzzle, you had to do some. It was it definitely took all three of us to bring our A game to figure some of these things out. In fact, some of them we're going to go
Hmm.
home, think about this for a week and see if we can't figure out what the heck we're supposed to be doing with this.
Wow.
It really
Okay.
was. It was taxing, but at the end, it was totally worth it. It was so much fun when we were done.
Okay.
Mainly because we're like, "Yay, we're done."
You're just happy to be done. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. And it was quite taxing. So it was a lot of fun, but it's one of those that I'm glad I got my 5-5 that way. Well, and of course all the liar's caches I've done, but I'm glad I got the 5-5 that way before I did liar's caches, because that was the true 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I don't remember ever having to deal with bugs on that. And we went through a lot of weeds, a lot of tall grass. So I don't know if
Interesting.
Farmdale, yeah, I don't know if Farmdale's uh, management sprays or what yearly.
Hmm.
I don't know. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Mainly because I didn't have to worry about bugs.
Yeah. One less thing to deal with.
Exactly. It was a load off my mind. That's all I know.
Okay, so we've talked a bit about watching out for bugs, and we can use bug spray to try to avoid them and caching in the winter to avoid them.
Yep. And going rural versus urban,
True.
because
Rural versus
urban
urban.
urban you're not going to see nearly as many
Y-
nasties bugs
yes.
as you would if you went rural. So that's one of the things that I do a lot too, is that if I go caching during the summer, more times than not, it's going to be in towns. It's not going to be out in the middle of nowhere, BFE countryside.
See. Any other tips for avoiding bugs?
Um, Kill them with fire.
Maybe be very
but I'm
careful
not.
with
But
that.
I'm. Yeah, I'm not advocating arson. I'm just saying.
I was just thinking, well, you do it in town and you're going to possibly burn down a building, but you do it out in the middle of nowhere and you're going to get in trouble for starting a forest fire. So,
But you won't have any bugs.
no, you'll just have other issues.
Another PSA? I don't know.
Another PSA. Only you can prevent forest fires.
There you go. There you go.
Whatever happened to Smokey the Bear? That was good
We,
stuff.
I don't know. Maybe the millennials killed him off. I don't know.
Ah,
I'm sure somebody got offended by him. Yeah, go ahead, laugh it up. Let it sink in for a minute.
oh, it's taken. It's taken right away. Oh,
What? You're turning really red right now.
well, I'm sunburnt to start with because we were at the air show yesterday. So that's not
Yes, you
helping.
were.
And
Yes, you
then
were.
just needing to get air because I'm laughing too hard to breathe. So, Lee.
You're welcome. Always an adventure with me.
It is. It is.
Yes.
So we weren't going to do a cache highlight, but you did kind of just highlight a cache, ironically.
It just happens that way, doesn't it? But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Seriously, I've listened to quite a few podcasts that Direwolf and myself and some other select people frequent, and I don't know. I don't think I can count how many times the journal has been mentioned, and one specifically that Direwolf texted me. He's like, "Hey, they're talking about liar's caches and 5.5s and blah 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 on this podcast," and it escapes me which one it was right now. I think it was like Geo Talk or something like that. And of course, I tuned into it once I got home, and sure as shit, there it is, talking about the journal. It's like, so did I really highlight a cache? Yeah, I guess I did. If your listeners don't listen to that other one, but the journal is becoming a bit of a landmark in and of itself in the
Oh,
geocaching world, at least in this area.
that's
A
cool.
lot of people, yeah, a lot of people strive for it. And I think when they find it, they enjoy it. So
Once you get
it's
through the
it's
4
definitely,
weeks of calculations and thinking.
well, that was us because we're a little slow.
You said it,
I
not
mean,
me.
yeah, I know, but you have to remember anybody that works with me has to kind of take a little bit of a, you know, So we took the 4 weeks, but I have heard about people doing it in a couple of days,
Ooh,
and kudos to them for that. I I couldn't. For one,
gosh.
I'm not that limber and not that enduring. I just don't think I could do that.
Fair enough.
But we also took our time because we enjoyed the scenery it took us through. A lot of the, one area we're going down a hillside and there's a couple of cars on the hillside. In the middle of nowhere, there's a couple of cars on the hillside. So, of course, we're going to sit there and investigate them for 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Just like
Just
some
to,
old rusted out cars?
yep,
Huh.
yep. Sitting 45-degree angle or better on a hillside
Oh,
that you would think the physics would just think you would think that car would just tumble the rest of the way down the hill, but nope, it's right in the middle of the hillside.
random.
Exactly. So we took our time going through all this and kind of took in the scenery as we went.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, so our sort of bonus cache highlight, I guess we'll call it.
There you
But
go.
we have a first time ever. Instead of doing a cache highlight, we are doing a trackable highlight. And I kind of wish it was a travel bug instead of a geocoin because bugs and how good would that have been? But that comment
I can't give you
aside,
everything. I
I
can't give
know.
you everything, Amy. Come
Why
on.
not? Why not, Lee?
So I know, right? So I'm
You're
not even going to
welcome.
acknowledge that
You're
one.
welcome. So,
Yeah, huh. Okay, so let me give you a little
if
background.
people are still listening at this point, tell us about this trackable.
That is good. So I'm sure you'll probably put a picture of it on your website or whatever,
Yes.
but the trackable code is HQQK as in kite, T as in Tom, W as in window. It's a GeoTour coin um, that is from Switzerland, specifically the Tourism Board of Switzerland. And it is on a world tour, according to the trackable page. And while it's on tour, I looked into the page while I was waiting for you to catch up to me today, and I saw that it's only had 5 pictures. And first of all, you have to have a translator if you look at the trackable page because it's all in Swedish, French, European, whatever you want to call it. And it basically says, "Hey, this is on a world tour. Share with us what you want. As far as and what I did was I got it. Where did I pick this up? I think I picked this up in Laken County, Laken Municipal Airport, and I brought it with me. Me and my daughter went to Springfield because she wanted to see Lincoln's tomb, Abraham Lincoln's tomb. And right in front of Abraham Lincoln's tomb is Abraham Lincoln's bust, head down to his shoulders, and he's got the nose is all worn down to where it's just bronze, I think it is.
Okay.
And of course, the thing there is touch his nose and make a wish type of thing. So what I did was I put this coin right under his chin, kind of in his Adam's apple area, and I took a picture of it and I sent it to them. Well, this got them completely going. They're like, "Oh, this is neat. Send us more pictures if you can." So I took a picture of the actual tomb memorial, sent that to them. So basically, I wanted to highlight this so that any listeners that happen to have something of landmark or history or whatever that they want to share with this Switzerland Tourist Board to discover this trackable and attach either a description or better yet, a picture, or in addition to a picture of that particular thing. And let's kind of make a campaign of flooding the, Switzerland Tourism Board, their geocaching account. Let's just flood it with all these discoveries and give them, total Americana. And if you're listening over in Europe and wherever the podcast might go, I think that would really be neat for them. And I'm going to send them a note tonight telling them what we're doing so it won't catch them flat-footed. So hopefully it'll work out.
Let's do it. Let's send them some
Yeah,
pictures.
absolutely. Because they kind of texted me about a week ago. They're like, "Hey, do you still have our trackable?" I had to translate it, and it's like, "Do you still have our trackable? And are you going to be leaving it somewhere soon?" Well, around here, I don't have a lot of places that I can really go with it.
Mm,
That's one, secure. Well,
right.
one, it's big enough, and two, it's secure enough that I would feel good leaving it. And unfortunately, there's no events going on around here, so I can't
Mm,
pass it along that way. So in the meantime, let's try to do this campaign through the podcast and see if we can't get some information to them. I think they'd
that
really like
sounds
it.
awesome.
I think so. So yeah,
Uh,
I thought let's try that and see how it goes.
yeah, this is actually works out really good timing too, because we have a trip coming up. So I can get some good pictures on our trip
There you go. Yeah.
and discover the trackable myself.
Where is your trip taking you?
We are going to Branson
Oh wow.
for a
Okay.
few days. Yeah.
You've never been there, being that you live in
It's
Missouri?
been a long time. I think
Okay.
I was like 10 or so last time I was in Branson.
Okay.
And this will be my son's first time going. My husband's been before too, but it's been years since he went as well. So,
That's cool. That'd
yeah.
be nice. It's a shame I can't get this down to you so that you can include it into your pictures,
I know.
like what
I
I did
know.
with Abraham Lincoln. But
Yeah, we're actually leaving this week, so we'll be back by the time all this airs.
yeah,
So it
yeah,
won't, yeah, there's not enough time to get it down here to me, but I will
yeah.
post a Discover log or two and share a few pictures.
That would be awesome. I think that would be really neat. So
And you'll send me a picture so I can throw it on the website,
I will. I will send it to you
and
as soon as
people
we're
can
done.
join in and have a little fun with it.
Absolutely. And maybe they can print off a picture of it and include it into their pictures. I
Oh,
don't
there you
know.
go.
That's kind of crazy. I, you know, I brought this up to you before we even started the podcast because I'm sure there's an ethical question in there somewhere.
I'm sure.
It's like,
I'm
do,
sure, because usually
do
it's
they
like
really want it to be shared this much? But
yeah, well,
let's do it.
usually it's a no to share a code that you don't own the trackable to, but you're
Right.
checking with them
Yeah.
for
And
permission. So,
and as I said, if they say no, then I'll let you know ahead of time.
yes. And if you're
We
hearing
can
this, then
then it's
we've
okay.
been given permission and discover away.
Exactly. I think that would be really neat if they decide to do this.
Well, Lee, it's been a pleasure as always. And thank you for
Always.
joining me.
Thank you for taking me up on this idea.
You've been listening to Geocache Adventures with me, Shadow Dragon 1. If you'd like to get in touch, you can reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, or go to geocacheadventures.org and you can find the information on the contact page. Theme music is by The Travel Bugs. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Have you heard of FTF Magazine? It's the magazine for geocachers. It is full of articles and pictures all submitted by geocachers just like you. I'm a subscriber myself, and I love it. My favorite part is the little snippets on the edges of the articles on all the different pages. Those are my favorites. Just go to ftfgeo.com to check them out and tell them Shadow Dragon 1 sent you.